Welcome to Estate Planning Simplified. Hello, Neil Anderson. Next video in my video series. For better or for worse. For better or for worse. You know that thing that we all take in our vows of marriage. Well, we enjoy the good times, and we often don't think about the worst. But the worst, you know what? It's part of what estate planning deals with, and the worst will ultimately happen. So I spoke a couple of nights ago about questions that you should ask an attorney before you hire an attorney. Today I'm going to talk about questions, particularly if you're estate planning or have thought about doing an estate plan, that spouses and partners should ask of one another before meeting with their attorney, or ideally before meeting with the attorney. And these aren't all easy. The first is, how would we like our estate planning to be simplified, distributed? When you get married, you have a marital estate, and typically it gets passed to one spouse. How do I want it to get distributed? Would we like to protect a part of our estate or some of our marital assets that will be protected for our children? Or should just one spouse or the other inherit the marital estate and that be that? Another question that's really, really important to discuss is, how do you want the assets distributed? Listen, this is a personal choice. A lot of people choose to leave their assets, leave what they've left behind in equal shares to children, but others want to consider leaving something to a charity, to grandchildren, to a special friend. Every circumstance is different, and in some cases, people do not even want to leave their estate to their children. Everybody's situation is different, but this is something that it's really helpful when I meet with a married couple, if they've had some discussion about what's important to them and how they want to leave their estate and pass it on. Who do we trust to take care of our children? Who do we trust to take care of our children? Who shares our values and will do the best job taking care of our children if something should happen to us? Now, so far, these questions have dealt with what happens if one of us dies or both of us die, but there are questions you want to ask also about life that can happen. What happens if I'm hospitalized? Honey, what if I'm hospitalized and I can't make decisions for myself, or you can't make decisions for yourself? Besides us, who do we trust to make decisions on our behalf? Same is true of financial affairs. Besides us, who can make decisions? Who can manage our lives? Who can manage our finances if we're ever in a position where we cannot? Look, these are really, really difficult and challenging questions, and questions that spouses oftentimes want to avoid. But I'm here to tell you that they're not as difficult as they appear to be. It's just something that you have to do. And while, as an estate planning attorney, I guide couples through some of these questions and others, it's always refreshing and helpful when spouses have had some of these conversations in advance, because it helps streamline the process and it allows us to dive a little deeper into the estate planning. So, long story short, for better or for worse, don't be afraid to discuss issues with your spouse in advance. Do not be afraid to have a little bit of information or education before you go in and meet with your attorney. Believe me, it'll help. And it'll also help you with the other piece I was talking about, which is making sure you're hiring the right person for you. because an attorney that doesn't guide you through this process the way that you anticipate might not be the right one for you. So, folks, if you are married, do not be afraid to discuss estate planning. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you love these videos.